Hey everyone, thanks for checking this out. I don't usually, actually I've never done any type of review video before on YouTube, but figure I would just kind of do this one. The reason I was doing it is because just recently I just picked up this Fender Blues Junior 15 watt tube amp, and the reason I was looking for another amp is because I still have a PV Classic 5212. Great amp, love it. Had it probably close to 20 years now. And and I don't gig that often. You know, right now I've got a couple bands right now, one an acoustic band, one, you know, a full band cover band. And I tend to use that. We tend to gig once a month right now. But that thing is a beast to keep carrying around. The older you get, the heavier it gets, it seems like. I think it's probably close to 65 pounds. And it was just getting to be too much. And because it was so big, you can't even really open it up in a smaller club set or, bar setting. So for a while, I was just looking to try to find something else that I could easily gig with, something that would take pedals really well, something with a clean tone. And after a lot of going back and forth, I settled on this amp. Wasn't quite sure what to expect. Gigged with it for the first time a week ago, and I was so impressed with this little thing. It was actually, louder. It sounds louder than 15 watts, that's for sure. But my main concern was, how would it take the pedals? Would there be a lot of noise? How would it sound? And those are the things that I didn't really see on YouTube. I mean, I saw people demoing the amp and reviewing it, which was great. And they would talk about putting pedals through it. But it really wasn't putting it through the test that I wanted it to see. So I really kind of took a chance on being able to take my pedals. And if you can kind of see what I have here right now going into the amp. What I have right now is I'm playing through a Fender American Strat. And I'm going right into the Big Shot splitter. And then from there, it's just one big daisy chain through all the pedals. So there's no effects loop going on here at all. It's just really one pedal into another. And that's where I was worried about a lot of noise through just the various connections, how long the chain would be. And you can kind of hear right now that I have the amp on. I have my guitar up. All the pedals are off right now, but you don't hear a thing coming through the amp, which I'm really impressed with. This is just my clean tone on the neck setting. Move it over to the bridge. So that's just it, clean right through the amp. I'm not going to really play around with the reverb settings on this or the volume versus the master, because I always said the more you crank the volume on this, the more it's going to break up. It's got a really nice breakup to it. But playing live, I just tend to go through a lot of different pedals and different effects. I'm very particular, and I guess I'm just kind of a pedal nerd on top of that. So I just try to, if it's one pedal for, out of these 20-something songs we do, I just, make sure it sounds good. So I'm going to kind of just mess around a little bit here. If you can see what I have here, I have actually going out of the Big Shot into a tuner on the tuner output, and then the other output's going into a pitchfork, into my overdrive and distortion pedals right there, the two Boss pedals and the MXR. And then from there I'm going into my modulation flanger, which I just picked up today actually, was looking for that. I had sold one a while back, finally replaced it, into a chorus, or I should say actually into the boost, into a chorus. I might have to just kind of rework that a little bit. Two chorus pedals, again, the Boss chorus, super chorus, and the Danelectro Cool Cat. And I just recently had picked up another Dan Echo that I had parted with a while back, so I'm glad I got that again. Going into two TC electronic pedals, the Hall of Fame and the Flashback. So I'm just going to kind of noodle around. You can kind of hear it, see how it sounds. I'm not going to, go into too much depth here, but just want to kind of show you what it sounds like and what you don't hear, opposed to what you do hear when playing. And again, I'm going through, my Strat, and, we'll see how it sounds. Hopefully it helps you out a little bit in terms of what it's able to do. And we'll, enjoy. And by the way, I'm not, a shredder expert guitar player, so be gentle on me in terms of what I'm playing. I'm just kind of doing a few things here and there to kind of show you what it sounds like. So if you're looking for perfection, you're certainly not going to find it here, right? So I'm going to kind of just start with my clean channel again, maybe throw some modulation, a couple things in there, and mix it up a little bit and see how it sounds, all right? So that's about it. And actually, if you hear, there's actually a very little bit of noise coming out of the amp now, and I think it's because of just the overdrive being engaged. Yeah, so it's gone now. So that's probably the only thing that I would say, that when you got your distortions or your overdrives engaged, at least for me right now, that's where you had that little bit of noise coming through. But it's really not a big deal at all as far as, you know, what I'm doing. Gigging maybe once a month. But this thing is, you know, again, I gigged with it once. I've had one or two rehearsals with it, playing with, you know, our drummer, and it wasn't mic'd during the rehearsals, and it was still loud enough to play over the drums, which was really, I thought, incredible as well. And when we did gig just recently, it was in a more controlled environment outside, but still controlled. We had it mic'd within the mix, and there was a lot of room I still had to play with it. I think right now the volume is at 3. The master's only at maybe 2.5 and 3 as well. So definitely there was a lot of room there. There still is. So that's why I wanted to kind of just run through this. I'd seen a lot of great videos in terms of reviews, but they weren't really quite, you know, showing just some of those little odds and ends that I was looking for. And now that I've been able to kind of put my board back together and put it through here, maybe that helps you out a little bit as well. But definitely, I think it's well worth it. Again, it's, you know, the Fender Blues Junior, part of the Hot Rod series. Thought I got a pretty good deal on it here in Jersey at the Music Den. So yeah, I'm really happy with the purchase. So it's going to come in handy down the road with our future gigs here. So thanks for checking it out. And if you have any questions, or comments, well, as far as the comments, I told you, not to expect anything super technical with me and more of a hack than anything else, but I just like to play. Questions, let me know. Try to answer them for you. I'm actually going through 2 power supplies as well. The DC brick and then the one spot. And I've got it split up where I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 or 7 of the pedals going into the brick. And then I think I've got, let's take a look here, maybe 4 pedals going into the one spot. And I will say, I've had that DC brick for over 10 years. It's got to be maybe closer to 15 maybe. It's been fantastic. And the one spot I've just recently picked up, I think it's great. I actually have a one spot for my other pedal board for my acoustic band that I play in. That's only powering maybe 3 pedals, but still I think it's great. It's quiet. So yeah, thanks for hanging with me, and we'll see you down the road. Thanks.